particular functions that I can use it where it doesn't use the subject portion, but it just uses the sentence portion. And I have functions. I just went to the general knowledge one. That's a sentence table. Back to questions and answers. It's a rather large table. Anyway, I can create it where, in this case, we have many columns and they're matching up with A, B, C, D, E. And I'm doing a particular thing there. What it is I'm storing information according to the subject. Like if the subject is about dogs, then you take, well, the first letter is D, and I'm storing the information according to D on dogs. So it looks up the subject for dogs and in the D column, or whatever subject it is, and it will respond. Yeah, see, there's the subject. There's this is three parts: detect, phrase, response, and subject. And it will look up the word, like for Virginia. So it says subject V, Virginia, and it will. Yeah, so it's a little complicated, but I wanted. This is all these particular tables, like I said before, can be modified using the functions, and can be used in different manners using the functions. So it can get complicated, but you have me for help anyway. So because I developed it and I kind of know what it does, and of course there's things that can slip by me, but it'd be much more difficult considering that I did make them. So if I don't understand it, then there is a problem. We have a sentence builder table. There's extra tables in here that are made to be permanently left alone. Like for instance, a set table where you can set the mood, like I said before, that Athena is happy, where you can set the mood right here, and you can use a function to set the mood. I have a particular function that I made so you can set the mood, or you can find out what the mood is. The state she's in, the topic that she's talking about, or the topic that you were talking about, can be stored right here in the topics portion, which will come in handy because that way she can stay on that topic even if you went off topic. And her desire. So I just created like 4 different things. Like if she has a desire, she wants something, and you can create a table that functions off that desire. Right now, most of it's functioning off of mood, but you can also set that where it functions off desire. I might change that in some form or fashion. Depends on what I see is needed or what isn't needed. Like I said, it's in development. We have a word filter. I'm not going to open that particular table, but because it's full of all manner of curse words and things like that, I can filter out. I probably should, do something to keep from other kids or whatever from looking into that table, because there's just a bunch of stuff you just really don't want to see unless you have to, unless you just really don't care. In some cases, that's true too. And we have a users table. See what user's active, the birth date of that user, the gender, whether it's a male or female, and of course the user's name. I keep track of users and their names, and so it knows who they're talking to, and perhaps you can train it how to respond to that particular individual as opposed to some other particular individual. Keeps information. It's good to know. So there's a lot of things you can do with Athena. Here's memory. It remembers the sentences you say, subject of that sentence, the time that the sentence was said, and of course the user who said that sentence. Now and then you'll see this particular thing pop up. And what we have here is I can create a new column, rename a column, copy a column, delete or paste a column. That's what that's for. And now we will create tables. Now we have parsing text files. In the parsing text files part, we can parse concepts, a concepts text, a knowledge text, quotes. If you have lots of quotes. This particular deal is a little interesting. I'm still partly working on it. An if then, we have an if then table over here. Questions and answers. Now I'm just click on knowledge, and say for instance I found a file. This I said we can't find some kind of a file. Say for instance this was a file that had a lot of knowledge in it that I wanted to parse. Right now it's just the information. It's just a story, one of Jason's stories that he's been using. And say we have this line. You see a line, a child was standing on a street corner, and what it will do is you can parse this particular line. It will basically break it down and find out the subject of each little line, and then of course inject it into the knowledge database. So if I had selected it, I probably should have went ahead and selected it. Let's go ahead and select it, just like if we were really going to do it. Now this thing pops up. Now go ahead and parse the text. If I leave this blank, it will use a carriage return as the prime delimiter, and of course we can't choose a secondary delimiter in this case because we're parsing a knowledge text file. So the knowledge is a simple sentence or a set of sentences, and then you can break the sentence up. If you wanted to do sentence by sentence, you can use a period as a delimiter. If you use nothing, like I said, it's a carriage return, so that if you have like several lines, it will just parse every line individually, where it takes a subject out of it and then puts the subject within the subject column of the knowledge database, and the sentence, that particular sentence, within the sentence part of the database. If this was a different one like questions and answers, I'd have the secondary delimiter would open up so that you can not only parse, say if you have a line that has a carriage return at the end of it, and within that line the first part of it is the question and the second part of it is the answer. And you can use first of all, the primary delimiter would show the line, and like for instance the carriage return, if you're doing it line by line, that would be the primary delimiter. But the secondary delimiter, you can add like two of these, a couple of forward slashes to separate the questions from the answers, and it will go ahead and separate and put the questions in one column and the answers in the other column in the questions and answers table. That's a little complicated. I will probably need to show more intimately what some of these things can do. I'll do that at another time, but not right now. That's a help section. I can cancel this or close it. I can parse the text file and cancel it, and this will stay working. But right now I'm just going to close it. So now I want to quickly show you the again the general knowledge table, and we have sentences on one side and subjects on the other, and that's exactly sort of what I was mentioning a while ago. When you create a table, that's a sentence table, because in the sentence table you have sentences on one side and subjects on the other, and that's what that's doing. So if you want to make another knowledge table, you just make a sentence table and then use the function to utilize that sentence table as a knowledge database. Okay, now I sort of give you a good overview of all this, and of course I can select different databases here. Of course, in the Word database you have definitions, holonyms, hypernyms, meronyms.